Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran, and this is a weekly astrology forecast for the first week of April 2014. The moon is in early Gemini. Saturday she moves into Cancer. On Tuesday she moves into Leo as the sun opposes Mars. We're talking about the heat being cranked up. The sun is now in Aries, conjunct Uranus, T-squaring Jupiter opposite Pluto. We're talking about the heat getting turned up. April is Aries month. It's fire in the head. We're talking about the heat getting turned up. We have a full moon lunar eclipse the 15th. In May we have a solar eclipse. And of course, near the end of this month, around the 20th, the final weeks of April, we have this exact grand kite in cardinal signs. We're talking about the heat getting turned up. We're talking about a highly dynamic, revolutionary, transformative period right now. And the only way I can describe this energy personally, the way we feel it inwardly, subjectively, which is my personal flavor and, perspective delivering these reports, is it sort of feels like we're in line waiting to ride a roller coaster for the very first time, like as a kid. And we don't know what's coming, we don't know what to expect, we have no previous experience riding a roller coaster. All we know is it's supposedly a good time and quite a ride. And chances are, once we get over the first hill and we go down for the first time, we will be met with excitement, enjoyment, relief. However, waiting in line, climbing that hill for the first time is usually a polar opposite feeling to that enjoyment and relief. There is some major tension and potential anxiety that is building up within us. And that is the motivating factor and the rocket fuel propelling us into this new period where there will be greater enjoyment, relief, liberation. This is what we're talking about right now. So I'm going to try my best to cover a lot in a short time, dissecting and analyzing these various energies that are at work right now. We're talking about masculine and feminine. What's being transformed, what's being revised is the masculine, is our individual self, is our ego, is our role, is our to-do service, our actions in the outer world is what is transforming. Yes, even our individual self, how we see ourselves, how we are, who we are, is what is being revised, is what is being transformed right now. So if we were to put all of the energy of this month and really this period into its most essential summary form, this is a revision of self and other. We are transforming this relationship of how we see ourselves, and thus it will transform how ourselves are in relations to other people. So there is a lot of stuff changing. There's a lot of friends changing. There's a lot of relationships changing. Yeah, there's a whole lot of transformation happening right now in areas that, we're dealing with Uranus. We're dealing with the sun conjunct Uranus. So, the sun forming this T-square this week is initiating the grand kite for the month of April, which is one of the most highly dynamic. It is the most highly dynamic aspect in astrology. So you can expect the 22nd, the third week of April, we will be very tangibly feeling this energy. And, myself in particular, not only do I embody a lot of this energy natally, these transits are aspecting me very dynamically, so you will be able to sort of taste this energy being channeled through me in these reports. I'm going to try my very best to keep it together. Alright, so, speaking of which, what are we dealing with? What is the tension? What are these different aspects that are pulling it together, and what do we need to keep in mind in order to keep it together right now? Because what really determines the gentleness, how much we embrace this transformation that is en route has to do with how much we're aligning ourselves ahead of time, of course. And this is the real, benefit of looking at astrology. And I do want to quickly emphasize that astrology is only a finger pointing at the moon. It is not the moon itself. This is an ancient Eastern phrase. What we're talking about here is that you are the transformation. Okay? This astrology is only sort of giving us a little elaboration, a little bit of, pointing as to what could actually be going on. But what is actually going on is us. Okay? So, let's jump right into it. What in us is under revision? What in us is under transformation? I told you it was the masculine, it's the will, it's Uranus in opposition to Mars at the end of this month. We're in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the masculine energy. It is the will. It is the protector, the defender. It is the fire in the head. It is intuition. It is understanding. Yep. And this area here is where lots of division happens. Not only in the world, with labeling and breaking apart all these different things. And there's an ant crawling right over the lens of the camera. Let me see if I can get him. Labeling, mental, dissection and all these things. But, this is how we can sometimes split off with ourselves. Everybody has an individual ego, and not everybody's ego is the same. So this is a time where our egos are coming to the forefront. We're seeing it under a microscope, or should I say it's very apparent to us. It's very blown up. And we're going to be seeing some blown ups as a result of these egos being blown up, right? Okay? And this is not bad. This is a chemical reaction that is happening, right? The dynamic issue here, underlying issue, is self versus others. We should not be seeing conflict as a bad thing. Conflict is the vehicle that is bringing yours and other egos to the forefront so we can study them, so we can see them, so we can see what is working and what isn't. Because this stuff is under revision. And this is not an easy time for everybody as they are getting their insecurities and their flaws exposed, as much as it is a reassuring time for those of us who are seeing, other people's weaknesses that we may have been overcompensating. We may have been overcompensating ourselves in perspective to other people, and this could be a time of us having our egos be verified. This could be a time where we are seeing other people losing their stuff, going crazy, and we are holding it down. And simultaneously, we are going a little bit crazy, and we're seeing where other people have it held down, and we're doing some showing and telling, some sharing, some wisdom spreading, because not everybody 100% has their stuff together, okay? But we're talking about, what to keep in mind. What is the determining factor in all of this is all about the balance of the masculine and the feminine. That's what this grand kite formation in the cardinal signs is about. We have two planets in the masculine forces. Uranus in Aries, ruled by Mars, opposing Mars in Libra. Mars in Libra, my ego versus other people, my individuality in connection, in conflict, in relationship with other people, one polarity, versus in tension with another polarity. Pluto in Capricorn, opposite Jupiter in Cancer. These are water signs. These are the feminine. There's a mutual reception going on between Capricorn and Scorpio, Pluto and Saturn. And what we're talking about is Pluto moving through Capricorn is transforming the masculine system, government, time, money, establishment, job, work is under transformation. What is revising it is the feminine. Jupiter in Cancer is sort of the key right now for how gentle or how we can maneuver through this aspect in the most, intuitive path of least resistance way. And that is, your key is the feminine. Your key is your feelings. You need to tune into what your own feelings, what your own intuitions, what your own inner feminine has to say to you. And I apologize about all the noise and the wind and stuff. I'll try my best to cut it out. Okay. This Saturday, Venus moves into Pisces, and then on Monday, Mercury moves into Aries. More water and fire, more masculine and feminine. Venus moving into Pisces. Where is the magic happening? Where is goals thoughts and dreams being exposed. Where is the new spiritual understanding being found is in Venus, is in our relationships, again. And relationship is under a lot of revision right now. There is splitting off happening, and of course, wherever there's splitting off happening, there is birth happening at the same time. This is very much a understanding of nature, because you understand when nature is turned on high, nature is most apparent, it's most tangible, it's most obvious. This is a period of life and death. Wherever there is life, there is death. They always exist simultaneously. So where there is friendships ending, where there is relationships ending, where there is jobs ending, where there is terminations, there is simultaneously new direction, new relationship, new birth, new understanding, new direction. Okay. Mercury moving into Aries, fire in the head. I know what I know because I know it. Real, tangible knowledge, information, understanding is being gifted to you right now. You are getting it up here, not just in our feelings. That's why it's so important to keep ourselves balanced with the feminine, because it's going to be very, very easy during this highly fiery Aries-Mars dominant time for us to get carried away by our heads. Oh, I know because I know, and I'm just going to do it. You know, Uranus, I'm just going to do it. I know what I know. I'm going to spend $1,000 today on this. You know, I know what I do, so I'm just going to blow up and then walk out because, you know what, screw everybody. Yeah? And we have to keep that in balance. We have to keep that in balance with submissive listening, right? This is the key to having fire in the head. This is the real important part here. Nobody gets knowledge, understanding, true wisdom by themselves. You don't all of a sudden say, well, me, I'm going to get in lotus position and beep, 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 download my own wisdom. That's not how it works. Wisdom comes down through others. Wisdom comes from teachers, it comes from gurus, it comes from guides, both seen and unseen, physical and non-physical. This is where wisdom always and must come from. So, we have to be willing to submissively hear. Here is the key point, though. Who are we submissively listening to? Because what's happening through all this is we're discovering what's really going on for us, which means that we are aligning, at least on a subconscious level, with our gurus, with our guides, with our teachers. And we must submissively listen to them if we're going to correctly download this knowledge tangibly and actually. Okay? So that means that, you know, it's important to submissively listen to everybody, but now we're going to use this intuition, we're going to use this feminine feeling, emotions, study those emotional reactions, see where those emotional reactions, you know, take off. They are clues, they are messages to your own story. This is the hero's story. You've lived for thousands of lives, and you've been learning through those thousands of lives. That's where this wisdom and this intelligence is coming from. It's coming from all of these different places. It's coming from places that we would least expect it to come from these days. You know, this is a time of surprises. This is a time of like, whoa, I had no idea, and I especially didn't expect you to be the one telling me about that. You know, that's why it's so important to submissively listen right now. That's why it's so important to give the benefit of the doubt to everybody. But here's the other half of the coin. You give the benefit of the doubt to everybody, and then you represent yourself. You go back into yourself and you trust your inner truth that is being unveiled right now, for some less gently than others, which has to do with how much you've suppressed your own truth. For those of us who have been running away from stuff for a long, long time, fortunately, the universe is looking out for you and wants to expose these things to you. That way you can move through them. That is called grace. And for many, it will be called fierce grace. It is a period where there is a lot of fierce grace. Okay? If you are super willing to embody your own truth, irrelevant of how it's received by other people, about how other people may judge you, about what organizations or religions or parental figures, authority figures, governmental figures, banks, job, work, if you don't care as much what all of these exterior forces care about you, you know, this is an opportune time for you to discover your inner confidence. This is going to be a time where you're seeing those authority figures, those parents, you know, those other people who may may have subconsciously or consciously suppressed you in the past, you're going to be watching them sort of get theirs, and this is going to be bringing to you confidence, where it's just like, well, in the past I was feeling so restricted about all of these organizations, money, system, government. Well, all of that stuff is now changing very, very quickly, and that is a relief to me because I never truly aligned myself with those things, whereas people who may have really sort of, and what it is they were cutting themselves short, which is why it is grace now for you to understand, well, you've sort of aligned with this part of yourself that actually isn't yourself, and that's why you've been hurting so bad. And now, thanks to birth and death and rebirth, we can start again. We can get in touch with who you really are. We can change up the entire floor plan. We can change up the whole game. We can change up how everything is being played. We can really change up not just relationships, again, how we see ourselves, and this changes everything. Once you change, and this isn't something that we're doing through hard inner work. This is automatic time. This is all automatic process. This is all domino effect time. This is all chemical reaction leading to chemical reaction leading to chemical reaction, and all of a sudden it's just like boing 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 boing. The music is going, and all you got to do is ride this horse and hold on tight, because you're going up this roller coaster, right? And we're going to be reaching the top of this hill, and when we're at the top of this hill, oh yeah, we're going to be seeing down. I'm not used to seeing the world 100 feet up, but oh my goodness, is it all so clear to me now? And then down we go, into our new roles, into our new jobs, into our new being, into our new important purpose, you understand? And once we align ourselves with this importance, with our own individual talent, with our own gifts, with who we really are, with who we really want to do, with who we really want to become, then we're just coasting. Then we're just doing what we've wanted to do and have been, really yearning to do for a long time. And I see a lot of these transits, although temporary, tumultuous, really being a rare opportunity to get into this position. Okay? So there's a lot happening this month. I can take a look at your chart for you. I can show you how this stuff is sort of playing out in your own chart, where this lunar eclipse is happening, where this Grand Kai is going to be affecting the different planetary bodies, which will give us some insight as to where in your inner personal sphere this stuff might be playing out, what will be the triggers, where will be this sort of, what stage it will be played upon, okay? But once again, this is not the moon. You are the moon. Astrology is a finger pointing at the moon. The inner transformation that's happening is very hard to describe because it's happening on such a personal, inward level. It's really up to you to tap inside, to be as sincere as possible with what you're feeling and with what you're thinking, with the feelings that you're getting, the dramas that are playing out. Be easy on yourself. Allow those emotions to come up, and don't try to repress anything. Don't repress any emotions. Don't repress any conflict that can arise through these emotions coming up, through these egos sort of, pointing each other out. Don't try to suppress any of this stuff. Allow it all to come up. Allow for the transformation to happen. Allow for things to get really speedy and a little out of control. And we might find that we're really coasting on top of this ride, on top of this wave, instead of being dragged down under. Okay? So allow yourself to get excited. Allow yourself to get heated up. Allow yourself to get dynamic and into life. We don't want to prevent anything from changing or happening in the direction where things are going. Okay? So, much love to you, many blessings, and namaste.